M26 prime movers transport the tube and base for the 914mm mortar Little David. A 12-foot pit is dug with timber flooring to facilitate emplacement of the base assembly and to distribute the firing loads. A 12-degree slope serves as an entrance ramp. The 46.5-ton base is backed into the pit. Built-in hydraulic jacks lift it so that the bogie can be removed by a crane and the prime mover driven out again. Backfilling by bulldozer, angle dozer, or other earth-moving machinery is the next step. To minimize the rearward motion when firing, it's recommended that the backfill be tamped solidly. A timber runway is constructed, enabling the 40-ton tube to be driven directly onto the base. The trunnion supports align with the trunnion jacks by use of a built-in cross-feed screw. A hydraulic pump and valve system within the base raises the jacks which lift the trunnion supports, permitting the carrier to be driven away. The jacks are then lowered and the tube drops until the elevating rack is engaged with the elevating pinion. The sight is attached and the remote control connection made. A hydraulic pump driven by an electric motor mounted on the elevating segment is used to pump the tube into battery position. The base unit of the propelling charge is inserted using a powder charger equipped with a pair of telescoping tubes. The largest caliber mortar ever built, the Little David was conceived and designed as a special assault weapon for use by land forces where heavy destructive power is required against unusually resistant targets. Loading the pre-engraved projectile T1, which weighs 3,650 pounds. Elevation of the mortar after the shell has been aligned and entered to the deep end of the rotating band enables it to slide down to a seat at the rear of the tube. The piece is traversed by power to the correct azimuth position. The bright surface indicates the tube's recoil, 24.5 inches. This surface changes from the lower to the upper edge of the trunnion ring as the piece is pumped into battery position, shown by a light in the remote control box. Holding the piece in battery with one hand, the gunner pushes the firing button. All firing in this demonstration is with instantaneous fuse setting. Muzzle velocity 1,250 feet per second. Maximum range 9,500 yards. Craters average 38 feet in diameter and 13 feet deep, with an appreciably greater depth of distributed soil. Further information on the Little David is available in Technical Film Bulletin 9-33. Digging and stripping operations at Surface Coral Pit 4 on Okinawa. Coral Development 4 is the most extensive of its type in the Pacific Ocean area. The rock crusher developed on the spot is one of the largest employed by the Army. The crushed coral is used both as a base for the roadbeds and as a final surfacing material for the runways at the Katena airstrip. Most of the work involved in digging the coral is done by native Okinawans under the supervision of the 1878th Aviation Engineers Battalion. The new airstrip at Katena is being prepared for B-29s. Lieutenant General James H. Doolittle, commander of the 8th Air Force based on Okinawa, estimates that 1,000 superfortresses will be required for his force. According to the general, the first B-29s, supported by long-range Thunderbolt fighters, will be flying from Okinawa sometime in August. The short haul is expected to triple the striking power of each superfort. Salvaging wrecked trucks at a maintenance battalion area on Okinawa. The trucks are stripped and motors sent to the shops for a complete reconditioning. The motors are first placed on a conveyor where the subassembly is removed. Then they're checked to determine the extent of the repair necessary. A steam jenny is used to give them a thorough cleaning. Various parts are then removed and carried to individual engine stands where the mechanics work on them. The valve assemblies are removed and the blocks placed on stands where the cylinders are machine honed. Worn parts are replaced and, where possible, all parts are reconditioned and used again. The reconditioned motors are given a test shakedown before being put to work again. Also on Okinawa, M4 tanks are equipped with a modified M2A180 personnel mine. An electric squib from an M6A3 bazooka rocket is used for an igniter, replacing the detonator and pressure type igniter used on the original M2A1. These anti-personnel mines have been devised to protect combat vehicles against close or suicidal attack by enemy personnel. Brackets to hold the mines are welded on the tank turret. A wiring system inside the tank cupola furnishes the electrical connection between the mine brackets and the central switch which controls the firing of the mines. Each bracket has an electrical contact point against which the mine is fitted when placed in the bracket. Inside the steel flanged tube of the M2A1 is a rejected 60mm mortar projectile weighing 3 pounds and filled with .34-pound flake TNT. Ignition of the base charge propels the projectile a distance of approximately 6 feet before detonation occurs. The effect of the projectile is casualties within 10 yards of the blast. Lieutenant General John Hodges, Colonel R.W. Daniels, and 10th Army officers are present at field tests of the modified M2A1. Air Force films of P-61s attached to the 548th Night Fighter Squadron on the way to their new base at Iishima, located just off the west coast of central Okinawa. The Black Widow Squadron has been in action since early 1944 when it arrived at Oahu. It moved to Saipan before that island was secured, then participated in the invasion of Iwo Jima, where it was last based. As of 14th June, the squadron had not lost a single plane in combat. An American ammunition dump on Okinawa suffers a series of violent explosions. Beginning at approximately 0900 5th July, the blasts of undetermined origin continue with increasing intensity until late afternoon. Destruction is viewed from an AA emplacement by Major General Fred C. Wallace, Island Commander. Phosphorus shells, flares, ack-ack, and small arms projectiles are among the many types of ammunition caught up by the explosions and flames. Photographs made the following day reveal the extent of the damage. The huge dump is situated east of Kadena Airfield, secured early in the Okinawa campaign. It's within a mile of the command post and other 10th Army installations. Exploded ammunition and the remains of the bivouac area are inspected by men of a bomb disposal unit. Clearing of the sector gets underway. Aerial views of the 68th Ordnance Company camp and the burned-out ammunition dump.